started here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
We are.
Yes.
Perfect. So first things first, Detect Auto is a browser extension, which means it requires the use of a laptop or desktop computer.
Okay.
In order to run this, in order to run the tools, it also requires a Chrome-based browser. So Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera, Brave, those should all be supported browsers. We do recommend Chrome if you're not already using it because it is a Chrome extension.
Which we have everywhere. That's what we use.
Perfect. And once you are signed up and have installed the extension, you will see a white tab with a blue D on the right-hand side. And when you give that a click, it's going to open up Detect Auto for you, say hello to whoever's logged in. You'll see some buttons at the top, and those buttons are the different tools that you have, and they do change depending on what page you're on.
Okay.
So down here at the bottom is basically ChatGPT. All you have to do here is type in whatever questions you have or whatever you want the Detect Auto AI to do. So if you type in like, what is CVT? It's going to give you an answer, tells you that it stands for variable valve timing and what that actually is.
Excellent.
And for the techs, if they want to ask, why do I always lose my 10mm socket? Might not tell you exactly why, but it will give you an explanation. It's commonly used and therefore frequently removed and misplaced. Small size also makes it easy to drop and lose among other tools or in engine compartments. Many mechanics and DIYers share this common frustration. And we're constantly updating this, so your answers might not be exactly the same every time. It actually used to tell me to organize my tools, which I thought was pretty funny.
Okay.
And Evan, if I can ask, in this program, obviously we'll have everybody logged in individually, but does the AI, is it learning? Is it learning from you, or is it really just always generic? Or, I mean, does it start adapting or no?
So it doesn't really start adapting from individual user input. And the reason why we've limited it from doing that is because we didn't want one user to kind of train it to do something really weird or wrong and mess it up for the rest of the shop.
Okay.
So we had been working on some feature to potentially customize it a little bit more for the individual shop. To be honest, they didn't work super well, so we rolled them back, and it's probably something we'll revisit in the future, but it's not on the current roadmap.
So even though everybody is logged in individually, it's actually kind of sharing the same, we're all sharing the same chat messaging.
Yeah, you like your shop and like all of Detect Auto kind of works off the same structure, but the inputs here aren't going to tell it to do anything different than normal.
I got you. Okay.
So
All right.
there is a little bit of customization you can do specific to the inspection tool, but that'll be in the settings page. And it doesn't, and you can always adjust that, but it wouldn't affect any other shops. It would only affect the users at that specific location.
Okay.
The other thing you can do with this tool is if you highlight anything on any page, like fuel induction service, for example, you'll see that it's been highlighted here. Tells me that I've selected that text, and now I can ask questions specific to whatever it is that I've highlighted in my browser.
Awesome.
So if I say, what is this? I didn't used to know what a fuel injection service was. Tells me it's about cleaning and maintaining fuel injectors in a vehicle to ensure efficient fuel delivery and combustion, and then a bunch of other information about that service.
Very nice.
This will work anywhere on any browser. You just have to have, or any web page, I should say, not any browser. You just have to have Detect Auto open and highlight something, and it'll show you what you selected. You can also talk to this. So there's a little microphone in the corner. As long as you have a microphone on your computer, and give it prompts or commands, or even ask it to translate things. So I could say, translate this to Spanish. And now it gives me fuel injection service in Spanish.
Huh.
So it's a very powerful and convenient feature. So I like to highlight it kind of at the beginning here as part of the extension itself. It's not tied to any of our tools or even the repair order or vehicles. So it's pretty independent, but it, again, can help you in a lot of different things.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other questions about this tool?
No, I don't think so. It looks good. It looks great.
Simple and easy, man. Simple and easy. That's
All
what
right.
I like. Right. Simple and easy.
Okay, so other thing I want to cover inside of the extension before diving into the main tools is this little blue bubble up here in the top right corner should have your initials in it. When you click on that, you'll see a whole menu of different options. There are video tutorials here and live support. Click on the video tutorials. It will take you to our YouTube page. You scroll down a little bit. Here are all the Tekmetric tutorial videos. You can click on the one that you want for the given tools that you're interested in learning more about or need a quick refresher on. Or in this playlist section here, you can look at the whole playlist here. It's about 14 different videos, all specific to a tool. They're all about 1 to 3 minutes long. It's not going to be nearly as detailed as what I'm going through now in recording, but it's great for a quick refresh. So if you forgot something or you've already gone through and watched this video and had a long weekend, kind of forgot how to use the tools, this can be really beneficial.
Okay.
And the other thing in here is the live support. This is a chat portal. When you click on this, anything that you type in here and send out goes to our entire team at the same time. It goes to our cell phones, and we all monitor this chat in the background while we work all day. It will never be a chat bot that responds to you. It is actually us on the team. The only message that comes through automatically is, hello, how can I help you? And all of us should have pictures next to us. So when we respond, you'll see who you're talking to, and their name will pop up. I think only the engineers don't have their pictures because I think they like to fly under the radar. But you won't see them pop in too much unless it's a serious technical problem, which hopefully you never encounter.
Okay.
If you hate typing stuff in, you can also put your phone number in here and ask us to call you, and we're happy to do that as well, especially if it's more complicated and kind of a pain to try to describe through text.
Awesome.
Any questions about the live support?
Nope.
All right, perfect. So now on to the main tools. So the first one I want to cover is our customer concerns tool. What this tool does is it prompts whoever's using it with questions to then ask the customer to follow up on whatever it is they said is going on with their vehicle. So this is usually going to be used by the front of house, whoever's answering the phones. It can be used while scheduling an appointment, while having a repair order open, or creating a repair order from scratch. Really, anytime you go to add a concern, this tool will automatically open on the side for you. Now, all I have to do if I want to add a concern is type in whatever the customer said. So if they said their car is leaking, that's all I have to type in. It will carry this text over here on the side, and then I click generate questions, and it will give me 5 follow-up questions to then ask the customer about the leak on their car. Some of these will be multiple choice. Some will be blank boxes that you can type into, or yes, no questions. Just kind of depends on whatever the initial prompt was. And the more specific you are here, the more targeted the questions will be over on this side. You're not limited to these questions. These are just there to start you off. So you can answer these, skip over these, do whatever you want. I'm going to start by answering them though. It says, where's the leak located in the car? I'll say near engine. What color is the fluid that's leaking? I'm going to say it's red. How much fluid? A few drops. When did you first notice it? I'll say today. And have you noticed any change in the way the car drives since the leak started? I'll say hard shifting. And it's already generated 2 new questions for me. So it'll always make sure you have at least 2 questions left that are unanswered as you're running through this list, and it will go on forever. So I usually tell people, stop when you feel like you have enough information or the customer gets sick of you, whichever comes first.
Right.
And to go through these questions says, have you noticed any warning lights on the dashboard or unusual noises? And if I've noticed any unusual smells coming from the car. If I don't like these questions, or they're redundant, maybe they're too similar to something else I've already asked, or the customer gave me some extra information that would have already answered this, I can hit this plus button and it will generate another one for me. Or if I ask my own questions that aren't on this list, or the customer gives me some extra information and I don't have a box to type any of that into, I can click add note and it gives me a blank box to put that here. Additionally, if you want to ask a direct follow-up question based on anything you got from the customer, like hard shifting here, maybe I want to know exactly what they mean, when it occurs, something like that, I can click dig deeper, and it will generate that follow-up question based on whatever answer was in this box. So it's actually asked me, when does the hard shifting typically occur? I'll just say maybe intermittently when accelerating. And I can dig deeper again, and it will use these answers. Generate this question. Does the hard shifting happen more often at specific speeds? And you can keep going on and on down this rabbit hole.
Okay.
Whenever you're done, Just click insert summary. Let's take all this information and put it into complete sentences for you and put it in this box. So now instead of car is leaking, we have the car is leaking red fluid near the engine with only a few drops noticeable. The issue was first noticed today. Since the leak started, the car has been experiencing hard shifting, which occurs intermittently and when accelerating. So hopefully this is a little bit better for the technician to try to diagnose this issue. Car is leaking isn't very specific.
Yeah, that's great.
Any questions about this tool?
That's good.
So the only one I had to ask is, because earlier I was actually playing around with it and I just, wasn't sure. Do you have to have like the ticket already open and started? Like, can you open the box? I know you can always open the Tech Auto box, but can you,
Yes.
Can you be talking to a customer doing all that and then backtrack and then open a ticket and add it in, or does it have to like lay over an open ticket?
So you can open it whenever you want. It'll just automatically open in a few different scenarios. So I hit save. It'll add itself here as a concern. But if I go back to my job board here, there's nowhere to add a concern. I can open up Detect Auto and click Customer Workflows here. That is this tool. So I could say, it's rough idle, generate questions, and start answering these questions.
So that way, this is somebody that just walks in and really we're asking questions before we totally get all their info, and we can have that already in there laid out. Then we pop in their info and boom, just add it.
Exactly. So whenever you're done, instead of clicking Insert Summary, because there's nowhere to insert the summary, there's a little Copy Summary button, and this will add it to your clipboard. So then you can paste it wherever you want. So I just put it in the search bar here. It says the customer is experiencing a rough idle with their vehicle. So I didn't answer any questions. All I did was say that there's a rough idle.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was just curious. That way you can, like I said, sometimes you get a customer having a dialogue and you really haven't got the ticket open yet, so that was good. Okay, perfect.
Absolutely. And this will also automatically open when you go to book an appointment. So I create a new appointment, just put my customer's details in here and their vehicle. And when I hit continue, it'll automatically open up for this purpose of visit box. It works the same way. So anything I type gets copied over here automatically. But what you also have access to, and it's not just when booking an appointment, it's anytime this tool's open, is a list of predetermined questions that you can add whatever you want into. So this is completely customizable. We just have a few examples that we offer to everybody. And then you can click the list of questions that you want to use. So when you click on this, it'll be the same questions in the same order every single time. You have as many questions in here as you want, or as few as one. So this one's a little bit shorter, only has 2 in it. And if I answer these questions, the only thing that changes about the functionality of the tools is it will not automatically generate new questions for me, because it's designed for you to focus on the questions you have predetermined are important. But if I want to ask additional questions, I can hit that plus button, or dig deeper, or add notes, and everything else still works the same. And when I insert the summary, it's also going to label this summary with the name of the workflow I used, so everybody knows exactly which questions I went and asked the customer. Any questions about this part?
No, that's great.
All right. And because you only have one box here in the purpose of visit, if the customer has more than one thing going on with their vehicle, all you have to do is click back into this box and press enter, and it will reset this tool for you on the side. So then you can start typing in whatever you want and go through this workflow again. Additionally, there's a newer feature here. I don't think that this was available last time I showed this. Well, maybe for the rest of the team, but last time Mike and I met, I don't think it was out yet. And if you're moving fast, maybe the customer dumps a bunch of information on you and you're just jotting down notes as fast as you can, and they don't have the time to stick around for some questions. Anything you write in here, like brakes, squealing, I can't type. I'll get closer. Squealing pads were replaced last week to try and fix issue, but still making noise, and ABS light kicks on when braking hard. So I've got some typos in there. Believe it or not, they were not intentional. It's kind of a big run-on sentence of information. Customers already walked out the door, dropped their car off. They had to go. I can actually click Insert Summary instead of Generate Questions, and it will clean all of this up for me, putting it into complete sentences. So now it says the customer is experiencing squealing brakes. They had the brake pads replaced last week in an attempt to fix the issue, but the noise persists. Additionally, the ABS light activates when braking hard.
That's awesome.
So it's just another way you can use the tool. And also when you go to convert this to a repair order, it will separate these into different concerns for you.
Oh.
So if I go create this appointment and then go to create this repair order, you can see they're already in different boxes, and I can add a concern here. Tool opens back up, works the same way, except now you can add as many boxes as you want. So instead of hitting enter, you would just start typing into the next box. Any questions about this tool?
Sure.
No, it's great.
All right, so that is everything for the customer concerns tool. Next tool I want to go through is the maintenance tool. So this tool,
I'll step out for 1 second, but I'll be right back. Okay, you continue. I'll be right back 1 second, okay?
okay, no problem.
I apologize, sir.
This tool is going to look up all the available history that you have on a given vehicle from all of your locations as well as Carfax, and it's going to make recommendations based off that history and the service schedule that you've set in place. It is this blue button right here in the middle of the repair order. You're also going to see this at the top of the inspections page. It's the same button. And the little red bubble in the corner is actually telling us how many overdue maintenance items the vehicle has before even opening the tool up. When I click on this, the first thing I'm going to see is a vehicle attributes page. What this page is a list of all the equipment that we think is on the vehicle. So it should be mostly pre-filled out for you. We use VIN decoder to try to make sure this is as accurate as possible. We also look at your Tekmetric and any information you have on the vehicle in there to cross-reference this. And any other users using Detect Auto and who have seen a vehicle the same year, make, and model before and fill this out, we cross-reference that information again to try to make this as accurate as possible. Essentially, anything that is checked, we're saying that it does have the equipment. Anything that is blank, we're saying it does not have the equipment. And we do recommend you check this over with every vehicle that comes in the first time you use it with Detect Auto, because this is what we're going to make recommendations based on. So if we say that something has a timing belt, but it does not have a timing belt, you're going to see a recommendation for a timing belt on the next page, or you're likely to, depending on the mileage of the vehicle, because there's not going to be any history replacing it. So it will assume that it is due. If it does not have a timing belt and you see that somewhere in here, timing belt is checked, all you have to do is uncheck that, and then you won't see that recommendation on the next page. This will save, so you never have to update it again. And you'll know if somebody's looked at it before because of the color of the little people on the side here. So if somebody's checked this, all they have to do is click on the people to turn them green so that everybody knows it's been reviewed. Or if they needed to change something, it will automatically turn these people green as well. Once they are marked green, they will stay green though. You can't undo that. To start, if something has not been checked, they will be grayed out and will say needs review, or they might be blue saying decoded from VIN, but you can always update anything that is decoded from the VIN just in case that is incorrect as well. There are also 2 sections to this. There's a little drop-down menu here to tell you which one you're on. I'm on the all attributes page, so it shows me everything, and I've used this vehicle for a lot of demos, so it's all been reviewed. But it might start you on the needing review page, which will only show you items that have not been checked or confirmed from the VIN or that nobody's reviewed before. So as you mark items reviewed on this page, they will disappear. But if you clicked on the wrong one or need to adjust something, you can always go back here and see the full list. If you have any questions about this part?
So the people turning colors, you said that does that mean like someone else at your shop has reviewed it, or your deeper dive, like somewhere, just anywhere that, you guys are always looking and updating, just anywhere someone's checked that and verifies that's the needs?
So it would be somebody in your shop.
Just from your shop. Okay.
Correct. So we won't automatically update this based off somebody else somewhere who's also using Detect Auto, because they might have a one-off vehicle that the customer modified or had a dealer installed option that's a little bit different. The only time that we'll use that data to make a change from what we've already entered in is if every single customer that has reviewed a vehicle like this before marks the exact same thing. And then actually you'll see 100% community consensus when you highlight this little person, meaning that that is probably the most accurate recommendation we have, because Vindicators aren't perfect. And I know Tekmetric isn't perfect. Sometimes it gets the transmission type wrong on vehicles. But if hundreds of Detect Auto users all say that a 2011 Volkswagen Jetta has power steering fluid, it probably does, unless you have the one.
Right.
So if it does have 100% community consensus, it'll be on this all attributes page. You probably won't see it on this needing review page.
Okay.
Any other questions about this?
No.
Okay. So once this is all correct and all the little people on the side are green, you can move on to the recommendations. And this is going to show you a complete list of everything that is overdue with red X's, everything that is not currently due with green check marks, and anything due soon with a yellow clock next to it. This is looking at the history that we have in the vehicle and the service schedule you set in place to determine when these things need to be done and if they have been done recently enough to mark them as not due. And you can use either your own custom shop-specific service schedule for this, or you can use the OEM recommended service schedule.
Yeah, so we did go in and set all that. So the OEM schedules, the only things that aren't set to OEM are the BG services are set to the BG schedule, but everything was, we set it like how you had it was OEM or if we said it was sooner, it's set the way you guys did. We had all that set. Yeah.
Perfect. I was going to say, or you can set it to whichever one's sooner. And the easiest way to know which one you're using is based on whether or not there is a blue factory on that line item. So they won't all necessarily have blue factories or all be missing the factories because it is specific to that interval. And if you are using the BG intervals for any of these, then it will just replace what your shop interval is. So if I click into one of these, like the spark plugs, for example, I'm going to see what the OEM recommendation is first, and then what my shop recommendation is right underneath. I have this set to use whichever one's sooner. So I have that blue factory and the OEM is sooner. So that's why I'm using it. If I'm using a BG interval, like on this coolant service here, I can actually see the BG badge and it is a BG interval here for me. I can still compare it to the OEM, which in this case, we don't have the information for whatever reason. Either they didn't recommend it or they say it's like lifetime coolant. I see it a lot for transmissions.
Yeah.
It does happen though.
Yeah, so you had the setting in there for that as well, like where it could say, don't, turn it off for the lifetime ones, so we had that too, yeah.
And there's also an indicator light one, I believe. So a lot of Hondas and a lot of newer German cars will say like when indicator light goes off, which that's great. That's super useful because nobody knows when that's going to be. You can't preemptively do it unless you have your service schedule down pat. Anyways, oops, I double clicked. Underneath the maintenance interval is this recommendation text. This can be customized to say whatever you want, but by default, it'll just list out what that service is, its status, and then how often you're recommending it based on the schedule you're using. Then the last recommendation for the service will be right here. This comes from your shop history, your other locations history, as well as Carfax. And any canned jobs that you have available for this service will be listed here in Detect Auto as kind of like a shortcut menu to add them back to the estimate. So if I do want to add one of these jobs to the estimate, see I don't have a spark plugs job on here right now. If I want to add this, all I have to do is click on that blue clipboard. And when I see that check mark, I'm good to hit refresh. And I now have my spark plugs job here. But this one's not currently due, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And I will show you some other canned jobs, or how this might look. If you have multiple canned jobs available for a specific interval, you just have to choose the one that you want to use. You can also add multiple at the same time. So if you're going through other intervals here, you can add all of the canned jobs and then just hit refresh once. And I just added a brake service and a transmission service. But I already have this one on the repair order, so I'll take it off too. And also for any jobs using BG products, there'll be extra little buttons on here. So if you click on one of these, what this actually will do is pull up some BG media content related to this job. And the plan is for this to eventually be able to get imported into the repair order, but we are still working on that. So this is a newer partnership that we have. So you would have to turn your computer around to show somebody, or I think you can save these images too if you wanted to send it to someone. And there's also videos in here.
So because where you had me go in and where we connected all that, right? The videos per job, but the way it indicated, so it doesn't go on the inspection. That's really more just for the advisor.
So at this time, yes, it doesn't go on the inspection. The plan is for it to probably end up on the inspection, but at least somewhere in the repair order that you can send it and share it to with the customer a little bit easier. So we've only had this partnership with BG for, I think, 2 months now. And BG is also working with Tekmetric to make that possible and happen. I just don't have a timeline on it.
Okay.
And these do have sound. I just have it muted because I can't hear myself think when it's on. Any questions about this part so far?
Nope.
All right. Last thing on this page here is this little printer icon. If you click this, it gives you the option to print this list out or export it as a PDF. If you click print, what it's going to do is pull up this page here for you that you can share with the customer. It will have your shop logo at the top, not ours, and just list out all the different services and everything you see in here, how much they're overdue by in terms of mileage or time, depending on the interval, when they were due or will be due next, and when they were last serviced according to the history that we have. So what a lot of shops are doing is printing this out as soon as the customer gets checked in or they drop off their vehicle and going through this with the customer so that you can fill in any blanks in the history. Customer might tell you that they've already done something or they have no idea what a particular service is or thought that they didn't have to do it. So you can gather that information and make better recommendations for them. In the chance that you have no history, again, they may have already done this. So if they say that they have done this, you can also add this to the history and update these recommendations as well. That brings us into this history tab here. This is where you're going to see all of the history on this vehicle. It will all be in chronological order and labeled based on where it came from. Anything from Carfax will have blue labels on it. Anything from your location that you're working in will have either no label on it, a yellow label that will say in progress if it's already been approved and is on the repair order. Anything that has not been approved will not show up as in progress, or a red label to tell you it was previously declined. Anything that happened at one of your other locations will actually have a purple label on it. And when you move your mouse over anything from your shop or the other locations, it will list the labor and parts lines. And if it had that purple label, it will actually say internal here. But above the labor line, it will tell you which location it was. So you know which shop worked on this vehicle before, what they did, and because it's one of your shops, you'll be able to see more detail on it. If you need to add some history manually, so if I used, again, my drive belt here as an example where I have no history on it, maybe the customer told me they already did it, the shop down the road did it, but they don't report to Carfax. All you have to do is click this plus button, type in whatever it is that was done, the date that the customer said it was done, roughly. I mean, a lot of times they won't know exactly when. And it will give you an estimated mileage based on the date and the other history that we have available. When you hit create, it will add itself in here chronologically. Somewhere, oh, there it is. And it is actually reset my drive belt interval now. So I'm not going to recommend it until the customers actually do. Anything that you add manually will have these green manual labels on it, and it does not report anywhere. So your other shops will see it, but it won't end up in Carfax. It is just like adding a note to a customer's file so that you don't recommend the same service if they come back in a week to get something else done.
But you said it does update amongst our own shops, though.
Correct. So your other shops should see this manual entry, and they should also see a purple label next to it saying that's internal.
Okay.
And then they'll see which shop it came from. And you can always delete this if you made a mistake as well. Last thing you can do in here is actually search through the history. You just have to type in the title of any job that you're looking for. So I typed in oil, so all of these have come up. Or if I go back to my recommendations here, I make this really big, I can see both the history and the maintenance recommendations side by side. And if I click on one of the recommendations to open it up, it will filter the history for me. So the benefit of filtering the history is it's a little bit faster than typing, and it's also going to look through the labor and parts lines of any history from your shop, and it's not looking for exact text. So when I searched oil, this LOF here did not show up, but we know that's an oil change, and our system knows that too. So it's going to show this in this list, but if I were to search oil manually, it's gone. So only the ones with the word oil in it came up. Another benefit is an example of an oil change. If you did, I don't know, like a valve cover replacement, or you changed a timing belt, did some other engine work, and you also changed the oil, and that was only listed in the labor or parts lines, the system's going to look through that, and when you filter it, it will show it here. So this will show you everything that has reset this interval before, will reset it if it's currently in progress once that's completed, or would have reset it if it was something that was previously declined. Any questions about this part?
I think so. Looks good.
Thank you.
All right. Next tool we have is the inspection tool. To get to this tool, you'll go over to your inspections page, and all you need to do is make sure you have an inspection added and that is not marked as complete. If it's marked as complete, we can't use any of our tools on it. You will have to reopen that inspection or add a different one. This inspection can be completely filled out or completely blank, just depending on when you want to use this particular tool. And the first thing that I want to show you that it can do is actually update these findings boxes with the recommendation text from the maintenance tool. To do that, you'll open up your extension. You'll see inspection maintenance down here at the bottom. Give that a click. And now it has imported all of the recommendations into the appropriate boxes. So if there has been no rating assigned on a particular item, it will mark it yellow if it is overdue or due soon, and it will mark it green if it is not currently due. The text comes in accordingly and will match whatever the status is. But if anything has already been filled out, like my oil change here was already marked red, and I had oil level low written in here, it did not get rid of that or overwrite it. It just added in that the oil change is also overdue by 525 miles and how often I recommend it. Additionally, I have my air filter here. I had already marked this yellow and added this picture of a dirty air filter. But if I go back and I look at my maintenance tool here, my air filter is actually not currently due. It did not overwrite that for me, and it did not put this recommendation text in here because it's contradicting what the technician has already seen and put into the inspection. So this tool is not designed to contradict anything. It's just designed to make your findings a little bit more thorough, add some extra information for the customer, and it by no means replaces actually looking at these parts. My favorite example is just because we said the shocks are not currently due did not mean that somebody didn't go jump their truck last weekend and blow out all of their shocks. So we could mark something green that when you go and inspect this is actually a bad part and needs to be replaced. So please don't bypass those parts of the inspection if you're going to use this before filling these things out. Have any questions about this?
Sure.
No.
Okay. Next part of this tool is called our text rewriter. This can actually also be used anywhere. It is not specific to the inspection, but this is where I see the most typing done, so this is where I like to show it. What this tool does is gives you the ability to quickly fix any typos, grammar, spelling errors, or any unprofessional language. All you have to do is make sure your extension is open here on the side. When you click into a text box that you can edit, if you can't edit the box, it will not work. And then text rewriter will pop up. If there is nothing in the box, it will not show up, so there has to be text in here already. And then when I click that button, it's going to rewrite this for me, correcting spelling and grammar and making it business professional. If I want to make an additional change, all I have to do is type into it, or I can give it a command at the bottom. So I'm just going to tell it to summarize. Now it summarized it for me. Or this is also a great tool that you can use to change languages for something if your customer doesn't happen to speak great English. So I'm going to tell it include Spanish and label both languages. And now I have it in English and Spanish. And when I'm done, just click apply, and it goes right into the box that I was working on. Do you have any questions about this part?
Sure.
No, that's great. That's great. We do have a lot of Spanish in this area, so that's something that's going to be very helpful.
Tremendous.
Absolutely. And it'll work with just about any language you can think of. It's also working with Pig Latin.
Nice. Really?
Hopefully your customer doesn't come in speaking Pig Latin. That would probably confuse everybody. But system will do it for you, and then just click apply, and you get that newer version.
Very cool.
The next part of this, which does only work on the inspection, is called our inspection finding writer. It is very similar to this tool, except instead of correcting what's already there, it will also expand on it and write a summary. To use this tool, you have to have a rating on that inspection line and some text, or a rating and a photo, but the rating is always a requirement. And you can have text and a photo as well. So if I want to write up a summary for this air filter here, it's yellow. And again, I'll click on this image. It is dirty. All I have to do is click into the finding box so that the system knows which item I'm trying to write up and which photos to look at. Then click inspection finding writer on the side.
Did that work?
So now it says the air filter appears dirty, which may affect engine performance and fuel efficiency over time. If I want to edit this, I can give it a command or type it in the box, just like with the text rewriter. Even say, make scarier. And I spelled that wrong, but it should be able to figure it out. Dirty air filter could significantly impact engine performance and fuel efficiency, potentially leading to engine damage if left unaddressed. If I like that better, I can click apply.
Nice.
If you just have text, like front brake pads and rotors here, you'll say pads showing 2 millimeters. I have to give it a rating and make sure I'm clicked into this box so it knows which item I'm trying to write up. And click inspection finding writer. And now it says front brake pads are worn down to 2 millimeters, significantly reducing braking efficiency and increasing stopping distance, posing a potential safety risk. If I like that, click apply. It goes right into the box for me. And it can be really tedious to click back and forth. So if you are ready to do this for the entire inspection, make sure you have ratings on everything and notes and or photos. If it does not have a rating, it will get skipped over. As long as you're not clicked into a box, you can just click inspection finding writer, and it will start you at the first item on this list. Give you your summary, and you have the option to click apply and next, and move on to the next one. Or you can go back, redo it, give it a command, or skip forward if you've already done one of these, and just keep moving down this list. So it's a little bit faster this way. That way you don't have to do as much clicking. Any questions about this part?
That's crazy.
No?
Okay. So that's everything for the inspection tool. The last tool that I want to show you is called our gross profit per hour auditor. What this tool does is it adds these extra little badges that you may have already noticed on my different jobs, as well as underneath my odometer here. Right now, this one says unassigned job because at least one job that I have on the repair order is missing its technician. Once I have a tech on all of the jobs, I should see red, green, yellow, or purple at the very top, and each job should also have a colored badge. Green up here means that I'm hitting my minimum goal for gross profit per hour and on average across the entire estimate. So this is your average here. And then each job also gets its own rating. So green again means that I'm good. Red would mean that you're below your overhead cost per hour. So you're actively losing money on this job. Basically a warning. Maybe you need to make a change. Maybe this is a job that you're always going to lose a little bit of money on, but makes it a little bit harder to ignore or miss. Yellow means that you are over your overhead cost per hour, so you are making money on this job, but you're below your minimum goal, so you're not making as much money as you'd like to see. Again, maybe you made a mistake, or if you see yellow up here, it's a good opportunity to try to sell additional services to bring this average up. And purple means that you are over your max goal. So this means you're doing really well on this job. You are not capped in any way. It's just to let you know this is extremely profitable, but I do highly encourage you to double check your work whenever you see purple, because in this case, I have actually made a mistake. I haven't had any costs in. So this job is not nearly as profitable as I think it is. And if I just say that this is maybe $200, it's actually below my minimum goal, and it dropped my average down below my overhead cost per hour. So now on average on this whole ticket, I'm actually losing money. So to summarize, red's bad, green's good, yellow, you're almost there, and purple, you're doing awesome if you filled everything out right. Pretty straightforward. There is some additional customization you can do with this tool. I'll show you how it works in my demo shop here.
I know that Maddie was showing me, like, I went in and set our oil changes to the exclusions.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just already know they're losers. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to have to fight that one every time. That, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
We just did a list of like oil changes, and I think there was a couple other things, like some of those BG ones. When you do everything together, I mean they're good, but it's still like an oil change, so you don't make a lot of money on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what these other settings are for. You only need these 3 numbers for the tools to work and set up your thresholds and what color badge everything gets. But service specific goals and exclusions are pretty similar. You just type in the name of a matching job or a keyword that will show up in that job title. On the service specific goal side, you just set the range in which it's deemed acceptable. So no matter what, even though this $50 to $75 is way below my overhead cost per hour, as long as my wheel alignment is in this range, it's still going to be green on my repair order, like it is here. Profitability exclusions, again, look for that matching title, but there is no range. So it will just remove the badge from that job. Like you mentioned, you have it set up for oil changes. And service-specific goals are just like, job category-specific goals are just like the service-specific goals, except for if you have multiple jobs in the same category that you want to follow a single range like oil changes, you could now just pick that oil change category.
So,
it is.
Evan, maybe you know, I assume the information I got back from Maddie is accurate, but because you're mentioning this, so we're on the multi-shop, but when we looked into that, our categories come from the multi-shop, so the category one wouldn't work for us because it's not on the store level. When we look at it, unless you have another way to figure that out.
Each location will have its own set of job categories. So anything that you edit in here will only apply to that individual location.
So when we were looking at that, for some reason, it wouldn't give us and maybe we can talk about this maybe after we're done with the video, but something to do with the multi-shop, like I had categories in there, but because they're being pulled from the multi-shop, it wouldn't allow us to put categories in there. But maybe that's something we can talk about after when we're done.
Well, was this blank?
Yes, I think it was.
So
the weird thing is that I have categories in both places, but it wasn't, I don't know, something wasn't working, jiving right. Maybe we can catch up on that.
Yeah, it probably just didn't sync. So this would, again, set the goal for the whole category. But the way that you can get it to sync is if you're logged into the shop that is missing the categories, open up Detect Auto, click on your extension up here, and there's extension settings, profitability analysis settings, sync job categories.
Okay.
And that should sync them up so that they will show up on your settings page.
Okay, I'll give that a try.
So it's supposed to happen automatically, but sometimes when you're onboarding a bunch of shops at once, things don't all copy overwrite. Maybe one location will get it and the other ones will be missing it. So this is a great way to kind of force it through.
Okay.
Okay, and then you are signed up for our chat system as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's everything for the gross profit per hour tool. Do you have any questions about this before I move on to the chat?
No.
Okay, perfect. So the chat system is pretty cool. It's newer, and nice thing about it is free. It's included with any Detect Auto subscription. The easiest way to get to it is if you open up your extension here, you should see a little chat bubble at the top that says messages. When you click on that, it will open up the chat system. You will see everybody that you can direct message here. It should be everybody who is in your shop, and each shop will have its own separate chat. So you will only see people from other shops if they've been added to that shop as well. You'll only get notifications for this when you are logged into the Tekmetric for that specific shop. Otherwise, it'll just be whichever shop you were last in. The other thing you'll see under here is a repair order section. So this will actually show you all of the open repair orders at this particular location, and this will receive updates from Tekmetric as things change on the repair order, and whoever is assigned as the technician and the advisor within Tekmetric will automatically get notifications for the relevant repair orders. If you open this up and you see dozens of repair orders like I have, and because we only have a few vehicles in here, they all look kind of the same. What I can do is actually filter this only to the relevant ones that I'm assigned. I click on this little eyeball on the side, and I'm actually only assigned one repair order. So now if I click on that, I can see everything that's happened since this vehicle came in. We did the inspection. We're waiting for the estimate to start, get it authorized, and then we have 3 jobs approved. And Danilo here is actually asking me to order parts. So we can have all the communication here so we can reference this later on or when the customer comes back. This repair order is automatic, or this repair order channel has automatically been created based on creating a repair order in Tekmetric, and will also automatically archive itself, so you're not going to see it after it's been closed on this page. If you do need to see this repair order again, the best way to do it is to go to your shop settings page here, or I already had it opened up on the side, or you can also go to ai.detectauto.com. And on the vehicle section, this is essentially an expanded version of our maintenance tool. You can search for any vehicle by customer's name, vehicle year, make, or model, or even the license plate. And any of your recent searches will show up here as well. So if you click on one, there's a section at the top that says vehicle chats. It'll show you all of the repair orders that are open or closed since you started with Detect Auto. It'll say archived if it's been closed, so I can look through all the updates from last time they were in, or any notes that I added into this chat or talked about. And I can also see what's open now. So we have a bunch, again, because we only have a few vehicles in here to work with. So we have tons of different things. Looks like we've been testing some stuff in here. But it's all here just for your reference so that you can better serve the customer next time. And any other channels that you have can be created to contain whatever you want. If you wanted a front of house channel or back of house channel, they can be added. You can even lock channels so only people who are added to them will be able to see them and view the information in them. And if you want to adjust your settings or who's added to which channel, notifications, there should be 3 little dots here where you can view who's been subscribed to it and add them in by searching for their name. And same goes for the repair orders here. If somebody else takes over, I can view who's subscribing it. Only Josh and I are on this one, but if I needed to add in John, for example, and he's going to take over because I'm going to be out next week and the customer's car is going to still be here, I could add him in, and then he will get notifications for this repair order. And also when he goes to filter this to only show his repair orders, it will come up. Any questions about the chat system or anything I've gone over here?
No.
Okay. So that should be everything related to Detect Auto. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly or Maddie. She is a dedicated customer success rep on your account. But if it is important or it needs to be answered very quickly to you or to anybody who's using the tools, the fastest way to get a hold of us is by clicking on your initials inside the extension and then live support. And this will ping the entire team at the same time. Somebody will be able to answer you very quickly.
All right.
All right. Any other questions about anything before I let you guys go?
Look,
That covers it.
52 times now.
All right. So I hope you all have a great weekend. And for everybody who's watching this recording, I hope you enjoy using Detect Auto.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Can't do that right now. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm sitting here like basically trying to put the pass out. I'm like, watch this game. I'm like, I gotta keep acting. I ain't fucking exhausted.